I'm Egyptian, I'm gay, and I'm a human. I think we're all activists if we choose to share our story, and I chose to come out very publicly in the Middle East in the rise of the Muslim Brotherhood in Egypt during the Arab Spring. You know, I think at the start of the Arab Spring we were all very optimistic. What could this change bring? What could democratization bring to the region? I was back visiting Cairo and I was out on a run one afternoon and it was hot out, so I took my shirt off and a car stopped behind me and a man yelled from it that I could no longer go out shirtless in the new Egypt. The Muslim Brotherhood was coming to power. The Islamist parties had just won 70% of the parliamentary seats. And I sort of worried. I worried not only about myself and about my place in society, but also about the role of women, my sister, my grandmother, and I certainly worried about the LGBT community. So I came out. I used myself as a litmus test. I shared my story, I shared who I was, and I called for an inclusive Egypt. I wanted to be a part of this new and exciting Egypt. I received threats of violence, of intimidation, of death threats. I left the country, and I haven't been back since. There's a lot we have to work on. Equality is one thing, legal equality, that we should be equal before the law. But the way to get started is with acceptance. Even in the United States, the work isn't done. LGBT youth are being bullied at an unprecedented rate. The rates of suicide have remained stagnant. Trans women of color are the #1 most likely demographic to be a victim of violence. You know, if we could grow acceptance, share our stories, and get people to realize we're more than just facts and figures, statistics, moral or ethical debates, but we're actually just brothers, sisters, sons, daughters, neighbors, coworkers, and, you know, D-list actors, we'll get the conversation started. People will realize we're not a threat. We're not a clear and present danger. We're just us.
Hello, I'm John Johnston. I'm doing my PhD at the Institute of Archaeology. I'm here today in the Petrie Museum of Egyptian Archaeology at University College London to talk a little about LGBT History Month. This is the third occasion now that the museum has celebrated LGBT History Month. On the first two occasions, we held some special lectures, and on this occasion we've devised a trail of various objects dotted around the museum which help to illustrate various aspects of LGBT history in the ancient world. One of the objects which has been put on display specifically for this month is the tale of Horus and Set, which is told on a papyrus discovered by Petrie at Lahun. It dates from the 12th dynasty and tells the tale of Horus and Set wrangling over control of Egypt following the death of the god Osiris. After many years of this wrangling, Set decides to change his tack and attempts to bed the god Horus, flattering him, telling him that he has beautiful buttocks and muscular thighs. It's particularly fascinating that this oldest recorded chat-up line in history actually appears to be a gay chat-up line. We also have this relief from Coptos, which shows the name of the king, Neferkare Pepi II. We have a tale from a much later period of Egyptian history, which the noted Egyptologist Sir Alan Gardner described as being quite within the spirit of Herodotus. It relates the story of the king Pepi II clambering up a ladder into his general Sassanet's home late at night and staying there for 4 hours, only leaving after he has done what he desired of him. There are many similar stories to be told by these objects on display in the Petrie Museum. For the month of February, we hope that you'll get the opportunity to come along and discover some of these tales with us.
Just a few weeks ago, on September 22nd, a group of Egyptians raised the rainbow flag at a Mashra Leila concert. This led to the widest crackdown and arrests of LGBT individuals in Egypt. Regarding human rights violations, the victims have been dealing with physical abuse, beatings, groping, cursing. They've also had limitations put on their family and legal visitations. They've also had anal examinations. This treatment is tantamount to torture. Now, according to the UN, any arrests based on gender identity or sexual orientation are by definition arbitrary and therefore violate international law. The Egyptian media has an immediate response after every crackdown by making the queer identity synonymous with terrorism, debauchery, and prostitution.
دي جريمة لا تقل عن الإرهاب خطراً، وجه آخر للإرهاب. وفي جرائم كتيرة مرتبطة بسلوكياتهم، مش بس انحراف أخلاقي. في جرائم إدمان ومخدرات وقتل وخطف وفي جرائم تانية.
People have been using scare tactics and propaganda since the beginning of time. It's our responsibility to look past these scare tactics and see humanity instead. On a bright note, eyes are on Egypt right now showing solidarity and support, and protests are occurring all over the world. You have queer people, queer Egyptians, who may have located to other countries outside of their own, and they're getting attention, and they're getting support and love and solidarity. And they may have been existing this entire time with that same fear instilled in them. There are queer Egyptians around the world right now looking over and feeling visible and feeling seen and heard and loved. To my siblings suffering in prison, you're not alone. To my queer family around the globe, you're not alone. Your suffering is not going to go unheard. We are working really hard to make sure that these human rights violations don't occur again. And to those already in prison for this, we're working hard to get you out. Look for links below to show support and solidarity. There are so many organizations and initiatives beginning and springing up, and if you want to start your own, that would be amazing too.
Traigamos esperanza a Egipcio. Bring hope back to Egypt.
Bring pride back to Egypt.
Bring love back to Egypt.
I'm a naval veteran and I stand with Queer Egypt.
I stand with Queer Egypt.
أنتم مش لوحدكم. Bring pride back to Egypt.
I'm with Queer Egypt. I love you guys. I stand with you guys. We're here. We're thinking of you, and we love you.